On this trip, we're in Death Valley, and Death Valley has over 3 million acres of land, and we're just going to see a small sample of that.
Death Valley trip. Here we go.
Pro tip for parents that can't get their children to sleep. Buy a WJ.
We're finally getting to some dirt. Yeah. You didn't. Who knew Death Valley was so much pavement?
Perfect. So it's about a minute apiece from what it was at.
What do you think the temp is here?
It's today 75.
It's funny when you're so used to it being like 50 or 40 or whatever, and then it gets to 75, you're like, what is it, 90?
Now, we were camped just outside of Death Valley, and we had plans to go to Guller Wash, which was in Death Valley. However, it seemed a little too far away, so we settled on this trail. We didn't see everything we wanted to in Death Valley, but we made the best of it. There was all kinds of water crossings, we had several different canyon runs, and we even stopped by and checked out some sand dunes. In Onza Borrego, we had to depend on a paper map, but this time around we have Starlink, which means we can use our phones, we can use our apps. It just makes navigating in the middle of nowhere so much easier.
This is a really cool canyon. Get my canyon vibe on here. A little bit. Love it.
Now, this is Thomas and Jamie's first time out in their Jeep, and I think this trail right here is a perfect way to get started in your Jeep, to kind of get the feel, how it climbs, you know, what kind of power you're dealing with. So I'm excited to see what they think about it after we come to our first stop. After all the hard work we put in on Thomas and Jamie's Jeep to get it ready for Death Valley, it's just really cool to see them smiling as they cruise across these dunes. On the outskirts of Dumont Dunes, we decided to pull over, pull the awning out, kick back, and have lunch. And you can tell by the smiles on their face that they really do like the Jeep. After a long drive through the desert on a paved road, we finally hit Badwater, the lowest point in America. We are now below sea level. This is our first stop here it's called Badwater. It looks closer than it is.
It's a little bit further. Let's just rest right here, okay?
And you can see how far it is here. Let me do it for you. So right now, we are literally at the lowest point in America.
Gentlemen, welcome to my salty lair. I've devised a scheme where you'll walk 2 miles and be completely hot to find more heat and a little more salt.
We follow this river that we're on all the way up to Shoshone, where our camp is right here. So that's what we're gonna hopefully attempt to try and figure out.
Now this is where the trail gets really cool for me. All the water crossings and cruising up the canyon like this. It hasn't rained in a long time, and I'm pretty sure that this wash bed was dry last year. How lucky are we to be able to cruise up and down this area with all this water in the middle of the desert? When you're traveling up the wash, sometimes it's hard to know where the trail is. And I'm hearing that there was a lot of floods that came through and took the markers out, so it's tough to stay on the trail at times, but we did our best. Now, I've been off-roading my Jeep at least 20 or 30 times with the Iron Rock 3-inch foundation kit, and I upgraded to the adjustable rear control arms and rear A-arm and Bilstein shocks all the way around, and it's been working perfect. So we did the same exact thing on Thomas's Jeep, and so far, so good.
This is really cool. But, I mean, a river run in California.
So it's the weekend of April 1st. It's about 79 degrees out, and I imagine in the next couple weeks it's only going to get hotter and hotter. So it's a really good time to get in and get out.
Creek crossing, it's almost as good as a canyon.
Now this is Artist Drive. It's a one-way 9-mile paved road that kind of winds through multicolor eroded hills. The Rainbow Hills of Artist Drive were formed by volcanic deposits of different compositions. It's a beautiful drive no matter what time of day you go there. However, the colors really pop towards the end of the day, late afternoon. Zabriskie Point has got some awesome views. It was made with sediments from Furnace Creek Lake, which dried up over 5 million years ago, long before Death Valley even came into existence. Now that was a really cool day of off-roading with the water crossings, cruising through the canyon, the dunes. Man, I wish there was more sunlight. I'd keep going. But the sun's starting to set, so we got to get back to the asphalt, air up the tires, and get back.
You love your new Jeep.
Yes.
We love
so does
Jeeping.
Emma, huh?
Jeep life.
You had fun.
On our drive back to the campsite, we saw someone playing guitar and just couldn't resist, so we pulled over to see what was going on. As it turns out, there's a 5-star chef working at a place called Steaks and Beer. The food was so good, I highly recommend going there. And after a long day, the beers weren't so bad either. And just like all of our trips, we barely scratched the surface. And we can't wait to get back here to explore some more. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.